You drive 50 miles round trip every single day. Should you go fully electric or stick with a hybrid? Today, we're definitively answering that question, because the right choice actually boils down to one thing. And the answer is much simpler than you might think. The 50-mile threshold. Why does this number matter? Going 50 miles a day commuting is a fairly common distance for the average city dweller in the US and Canada. Many analysts and vehicle designers also consider this figure a crucial decision point. But what's the real reason behind it? Is range anxiety real? Theoretically, you shouldn't have any problems driving 50 miles a day in a fully electric vehicle. But it's not just about range. Consider this. Many electric vehicles offer 200 to 300 miles of range on a single charge, well over 50 miles a day. But the question is, can you charge every night when you get home? Do you have a garage or a charging point at home? These things are crucial. If you park in front of your apartment building or on the street, you're dependent on publicly accessible charging stations, and that makes a big difference. DC. Fast charging infrastructure in the US and Canada networks. Like Tesla Supercharger and Electrify America are quite widespread in major cities. However, rural routes, especially in the Midwest, Atlantic Canada, and some southern provinces, still lack charging points. Charging infrastructure is strong in major cities such as Portland, Seattle, Toronto, and Los Angeles. Charging points are less frequent in rural Ohio, rural Quebec, Montana, and New Brunswick. Range anxiety becomes a tangible risk if there are no regularly scheduled charging stations along your route, or if you are driving long distances in winter conditions. Temperature factor, critical for Canada and Northern. US winter temperatures in the northern provinces and Canada can significantly reduce the range of your electric vehicle. In minus 20 degrees Celsius, some models can experience a range loss of up to 30 to 40%. So a vehicle that offers 250 miles of range in the summer months might drop to 150 to 175 miles in a freezing Toronto winter. Therefore, the 50-mile threshold becomes even more critical, especially for northern regions. You shouldn't overlook this when buying a vehicle. Official range versus real life. There are significant differences between the range values certified by the EPA and performance under real-world conditions. Here's the situation for 3 popular models. Cold weather, high highway speeds, and the use of air conditioning/heating can reduce range by 15 to 25%. The advantage zone of hybrid vehicles offer an undeniable advantage over fully electric vehicles in certain usage scenarios. So what are these scenarios? 1. If no charging at home. A large portion of the housing stock in America and Canada consists of apartments, housing estates, or rental properties. If you don't have overnight charging options, you may have to search for a public charging station every day. This creates a disadvantage in terms of both time and cost. There is no such problem with hybrid vehicles. Fuel stations are everywhere. 2. Rural routes and long journeys. If your daily route takes you through rural roads or you regularly travel long distances, a hybrid will be a much less stressful option. Without searching for a charging point, you can fill your vehicle's tank in 5 to 10 minutes at a gas station and continue on your way. 3. High highway speeds. For those who spend long periods at speeds of 75 to 80 miles per hour, 120 to 130 kilometers per hour, the range loss of electric vehicles is particularly noticeable. In hybrid vehicles, however, efficiency remains at a high level thanks to engine load sharing. Fuel costs are predictable in these vehicles. Maintenance costs are generally lower compared to electric vehicles, and the service network is quite extensive. The fact that Toyota and Honda dealerships, in particular, have accessible service networks in both the US and Canada lowers the long-term cost of ownership. PHEV plug-in hybrid option. If you have the option of partial charging at home but aren't ready to switch to a fully electric vehicle, a PHEV plug-in hybrid is a good middle ground. Models like the Toyota RAV4 Prime and Hyundai. Tucson plug-in hybrid can travel short distances entirely on electricity and then continue on gasoline for longer journeys. Cost per mile calculation. Monthly cost comparison for a driver who travels 50 miles, 80 kilometers, daily, based on U.S. averages. Electric vehicles generally have a higher initial purchase cost, but in the long run, energy and maintenance savings offset this difference. Federal EV tax credits, up to $7,500, and some state incentives shift this balance in favor of EV. Decision tree. Which vehicle is right for you? Question 1. Do you have home charging options? If yes, EV is a serious option. Move on to the next question. If no, a hybrid or PHEV is a more practical option. Question 2. Do you primarily drive on highways? If yes, account for actual range losses. Choose a long-range EV model, Model 3 LR Ioniq 6. If no, EV efficiency is at its peak, making city driving ideal for an EV. Question 3. Do you live in the northern U.S. states or Canada? If yes, be sure to account for winter range losses. Consider a PHEV or high-capacity EV. If no, meaning you live in the southern states, the climate advantage favors EV. The decision is clearer. Question 4. Do you drive more than 20,000 miles, 32,000 kilometers, annually? If yes, the fuel savings of an EV will pay for itself faster, making it a sensible choice in the long run. If no, the difference is less significant. A hybrid would also be a reasonable option. I have a question for you. How many miles do you ride per day, and do you have access to charging your phone at home? Write your answer in the comments. Specify both. I'll read your situation and tell you personally which option makes more sense for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. We publish real comparisons and cost analyses like this every week.